So how can you create videos that stand out and make them come back for more? Real talk, it's 2025. Your prospective clients are busy and the market is hesitant to watch a video that doesn't appeal to them. They have many options. So how can you create videos that stand out and make them come back for more? Today, I'll give you the formula for must-watch irresistible videos and creating unskippable content that keeps the viewers glued to the screen from start to finish. We're talking about unlocking the kind of retention that makes the social algorithms do the happy dance. In turn, drives more views, more growth, and more cha-ching business for you. Imagine having your prospective clients not only watch the entire video, but messaging you saying it was a game changer for their business. Sounds good, right? Well, for those of you that are new, I'm April Meese. I'm a midlife mom and entrepreneur who's built 2 multi-six-figure businesses, largely thanks to video marketing. And I help busy female entrepreneurs create profitable video content strategies to get more client sales, even if you're camera shy or cringe at the tech. And in the next few minutes, I'll walk you through the top 7 ways to make must-watch videos so your retention chart looks like it's climbing a mountain instead of dropping off a cliff, and ultimately attract an audience full of premium paying ideal clients. But first, I'm going to share the best video marketing advice I heard from last year's Social Media Marketing World Conference. And I'm not sure who said it, but I believe they were quoting Seth Godin, who is a well-known author and marketing genius. And I'm going to paraphrase what he said, but it was something like, it's not that people don't have time for content, they don't have time for bad content. And as business owners, our goal is to serve our prospective clients. And with marketing, that means creating valuable content for our audience. And beyond that, it's important because the platforms care about retention. Here's the kicker. According to YouTube's Creator Academy, watch time, or audience retention, is one of the most important metrics influencing how videos get discovered. Industry insights suggest that YouTube's algorithm favors videos with higher average view duration, making them even more likely to be promoted in the user's home feed and the up next suggestions. So while YouTube doesn't disclose all of the exact algorithm factors, it's been consistently noted that maximizing average view duration significantly increases a video's chance of being recommended. And this is not just true for YouTube, this is true for most of the platforms. So what does this mean? If people click and watch your video for 10 seconds and then leave, your video is going to the algorithm graveyard. But if you can keep them engaged for minutes on end, YouTube, Facebook, or any of the platforms will push that video to more folks. That's why we're focusing on how to keep the viewers locked in. All right, now that we've reinforced why it's important, let's dive into the first major secret for creating irresistible videos, and that is audience understanding. Addressing real pain points and questions. You must know exactly who you're talking to. And I'm not just talking about demographics, but psychographics. If you've ever felt completely invisible, like your content wasn't resonating, well, it could be that the algorithm is slow to promote you. But it also could be that you're not tackling the real burning questions that your viewers have. Maybe you've posted generic tips and then that video flopped, but then you discovered that your audience's real problem was, let's say it's time management, juggling the kiddos and business tasks. So that is the content topic to go all in on. Your content can't be vague. The best way to gain retention is to show your audience that you get them. So find out your audience's biggest frustrations. You can do that through social media comments, through emails and DMs, even look at Amazon book reviews on your topic and see what people liked, and more importantly, what they didn't like about the book and the book topic. And then make videos that speak directly to those unique pain points. especially if no one else is talking about it. Addressing the elephant in the room, so to speak, that's how you become a magnet for your niche and your audience, because they're going to say to themselves, she gets me. And in a moment, we're going to talk about the single most overlooked trick that will boost your watch time instantly. But next, let's talk about the number 2 tip. You might have heard me talk about the hook, which is to grab attention at the beginning of the video. But that's not the second tip. I have some other videos explaining the intros and hooks in more depth. But basically, in the first 15 seconds of your video, you need to let people know exactly what they clicked on so they don't wander off. That means matching your title and thumbnail with your actual intro. So if your thumbnail says 5 editing hacks for jaw-dropping videos, then your opening intro should reinforce that, saying, what if I showed you the 5 editing hacks to make your videos pop? This lets the audience know that they're in the right place to get what they wanted from that video, and it sets the topic frame. So tip number 2 for making irresistible videos is giving them exactly what they came for and then surprising them with even more. You want to exceed expectations right from the start and over-deliver. For this, you could add a juicy bonus. So in your video intro, you could say, but guess what? I'll also show an easy acronym to remember these video editing hacks so you don't have to memorize a thing. And there you have it, an instant reason for them to keep watching because they realize they're getting even more than promised. The second part of your intro should showcase your expertise or your effort. So mentioning why you're credible or how long you've researched this topic. For example, with this topic, we'd say, I spent 10 hours testing every editing tool under the sun to bring you these top 5 hacks. And then instantly viewers realize you must know what you're talking about or you put in the work. So they're more likely to trust you and therefore stick around to the end of the video. Now for the third tip, I can tell you there's one big mistake that people make when picking video topics. Put it in the comments and let me see if you can guess it. A must-watch video will always have a truly fascinating topic angle. Did you know that one of the biggest retention killers is a boring or overdone premise? And let me just say, this can be tricky. Even I can get stuck doing the same 5 tips format as everyone else. But lately I've been challenging myself to find a twist or come up with an unexpected perspective. For example, a unique angle could be 5 video editing hacks I wish someone warned me about before I wasted $500 in software. By the way, if you want me to actually create a video on this topic, let me know in the comments and I'll get to work on that for you. But as you can see, when you find that unique spark, suddenly people's ears perk up. So tip number 3 is to have an intriguing angle on an interesting idea. But where can you find them? Well, first of all, you can look at personal experience. You can ask yourself, what advice did I desperately need when I first started? Number 2, you could analyze the gap, meaning look at what's out there in your niche and where's the gap? What questions does no one want to touch? And then you talk about it and you fill the gap. And number 3 is most important, and that's find a unique perspective. So if the topic's been covered, you can give it a fresh spin. Maybe you have a, quote, mompreneur lens, or you have a comedic flair, or a sarcastic, tell it like it is wit, or a real life fail that will stand out. For me, I try to simplify complex topics and break it down with metaphors and examples and find the unique angles. The end result is you have a riveting idea that makes your title and thumbnail so irresistible that people have to click, and then you deliver on the promise in a new and intriguing way and even surpass it, locking in that retention. All right, friend, you've got their attention. Now, how do you keep them from jumping ship? Before I give you this tip, I have a little confession. Early on, when I first started to do video marketing, I was so eager to share all of the lessons that I've learned with everyone. I was giving them way too much information. It was like drinking from a fire hose. And later I realized that even though the content was great, It wasn't delivered in a digestible way with a do this next format. So they felt lost. So tip number 4 is solve an actual problem for them, preferably something they can put in action today. And if it's an educational video, make sure you structure your teaching points for simplicity. Ask yourself these 3 questions. What do they need to know? That would be facts, logic, a new perspective. What do they need to feel? That would be motivation, empowerment, readiness to act. And what do they need to do? Specific steps, links, or downloads. When you tie each tip to a tangible action, your audience will invest more time because they're thinking, I need to find out exactly how to do that next step. And before we get to the next step in this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe if you're finding these tips helpful. Okay, moving on to tip 5. You might be explaining your tips in a clear and consistent way, but the content still feels bland. And you need to spice it up a bit. And this is where you want to add some salt, pepper, seasoning, or sauce, which is adding analogies, metaphors, and stories to fully paint the picture in the viewer's mind. Not only does this make the content more entertaining, but it makes it easier for the viewer to understand and relate to the content. Some examples might be that you might use a puzzle metaphor to demonstrate how separate points fit into the bigger picture. Or you could compare short videos to speed dating and long videos to a cozy dinner date like I've done before. Or you could insert props or even text overlays to illustrate your points in the editing part. When your audience sees and hears a memorable metaphor, they engage that part of their brain that says, oh, now I get it. And the more they get it, the longer they stay. Next up, let's talk about the difference between average videos and the top 1% videos. The biggest takeaway is that creators of the highest ranked videos know how to structure the content and scripts. Sure, they're very good at providing context to why you want to watch the video, but most of all, they're good at invoking what's known as the Zeigarnik Effect, named after psychologist and psychiatrist Bluma Zeigarnik. I hope I'm saying that right. In 1927, she discovered this open loop effect, which is the tendency of our brain to remember and focus on incomplete tasks. Like, have you ever been unable to sleep thinking about all the things you didn't get done that day? And you were kept awake by all of the things you needed to do the next day? Yeah, it's almost every night for me. It's this suspense movie that's playing on a loop inside your brain, but it never ends. Well, that suspense of opening and closing loops in the viewer's mind is what leads to bingeable content. So if you want viewers to watch the entire video from tip 1 to tip 5, you've got to give them a quick win, but then create curiosity by opening up a new concern or a new loop. Again, I know this is something I'm always working on with my videos and my video scripting. Where people fail is that most new video marketers will say, tip number 1, and then they'll say, use graphics to enhance your videos. And then they'll say next, and then they'll put the payout right at the start. So guess what? The viewer feels like, got it, done. And then you see your retention graph nosedive after tip number 1. So think of it like if you were doing a makeover and you only reveal the final result at the last moment, so the viewers stay curious. This consistent open loop format keeps people watching through the entire video, not just grabbing the first tip and leaving. Finally, you want to ask yourself these 3 questions about every piece of content. Number 1, does this video make my audience feel more knowledgeable? Number 2, does it empower them to take the next steps? Number 3, does it entertain or at least stir some emotion? If your content only checks one box, like it's purely facts with 0 excitement, it might fall flat. Likewise, if you're all jokes and no actual info, your audience might laugh, but leave empty-handed. The sweet spot is knowledge plus empowerment plus a dash of entertainment. That's a trifecta for truly must-watch videos that your audience cannot resist. So your tip number 7 is to create empowering, educational, or emotional moments when you can make them say, wow, I learned something. I can do that. And, that was funny all at once. Then you've nailed it. Okay, my friend, let's recap how you can keep viewers hooked with must-see videos. Number 1, understand your audience on that deep psychological level so you can tackle the real questions that nobody else is addressing. Number 2, provide clear context in your hook and intro, making sure it's a match to your title and thumbnail, and then exceeding expectations with bonus content. Number 3, pick an intriguing angle for an interesting idea by bridging the knowledge gaps and offering a unique perspective. Number 4, deliver teaching points that solve tangible problems. Help them know, feel, and do. Number 5 is having an open loop format where you're structuring each point so that you withhold the payout until the end, which will keep curiosity alive, and then you can drop the big reveal. Number 6 is use visual storytelling. That's going to be with your stories, your analogies, and your metaphors to make your points really come alive, engaging your viewer and not boring them with textbook talk. Number 7 is to educate, empower, and entertain in every video if possible. Bonus tip to delivering mass value is to document your own journey. People love seeing behind the scenes. Let them learn from your wins and your fails. This fosters a sense of community, authenticity, and viewers feel like they're part of your growth process. Now take a moment and ask yourself, is my content truly irresistible for my audience? Does it meet and then exceed expectations that was set by the thumbnail and title promise? Am I weaving in enough story, enough curiosity, and enough payoff? If not, tweak your next video script with these tips and watch your retention graph and your business sales climb. Drop us your biggest aha or letting me know how you plan to hook more viewers. Make sure you subscribe if you want more practical video marketing tips. And remember, if enough people comment that they want the editing video, then next week I'll show you how to edit your videos for max retention. Hit the bell so you don't miss it. With hugs and high fives, bye for now. We're talking about unlocking the kind of retention that makes the social